Hey guys, Mike from CoachMikeMcDonald.com here. And do you ever feel like you suffer from writer's block while you're writing blog posts? Or maybe you're just looking for a more effective way to write quality blog posts faster? Well, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through how to write the perfect blog post in 14 simple steps. So stay tuned. Now, blogging is a very powerful strategy you can use to grow your business and promote affiliate marketing products, a network marketing product, or even products that you create on your own. So definitely implement blogging. And so in today's post, I'm going to help you out by giving you 14 easy steps you can use to write the best blog post possible. And so the first step that you want to do is to pick your topic. Right? One thing to really understand first and foremost is your target market. You know, a lot of people jump into an industry or jump into a business and they never really take the time to understand their target market. You know, what are their needs? What are their wants? What are their pain points? And really understanding those is a key foundation to writing quality blog posts and the perfect blog post. So once you understand your target market, you know, what their pain points are, what their needs and wants are, that's what you want to base your content around. So maybe you pick a pain point that's really common for your target market. And then the first step to decide what your topic's going to be about is to start typing an idea that you already have into Google search. Right? And so what that's going to do as you start typing that out, it's going to actually kind of have those suggestions that come up. And that's actually what real people are searching for right now. And so that's very powerful because you can base your content around things that people are actually looking for, and then that can lead to a lot of traffic coming to your site. It's great if you have awesome content, but if nobody ever searches for it, nobody ever finds it, it doesn't really matter. So this is a very important step to find out what you should talk about. So you can start putting your specific idea that you already have, just enter that and scroll all the way down to the very bottom of the page, and it's going to have different suggestions that come up, and those can be great topic ideas because again, people are actually searching for those, and you can create either, you know, the post that you're already making, shift gears into one of those, or change it up and use those terms for future posts that you might have. So it's a great strategy to come up with topic ideas. Another thing that you can do is actually research and look at what kind of content is your competitor doing. Right? And so you go into your industry, there's probably other leaders that are creating content, other influencers out there that are making posts, making content in relation to the similar type of content you want to create. So look at what they're doing. Obviously, you don't copy it word for word or anything like that, but a little bit of market research to see what these other influencers, what the other people are doing can help you out in creating your own content. So see what kind of stuff they're doing. Look at several videos, look at several blog posts, and it can give you some different ideas of how you can put your own spin on things, how you word it different, how your experience is a little bit different with that, and it can give you a lot of great ideas to pull from and create future content for yourself on. So once you've chosen your topic, the next step is to decide what kind of small win or what are you going to do to help your target audience achieve. And so that should really be the foundation of all your content, is what value are you looking to provide? How are you going to serve that target audience? You know, what problem are you looking to help them solve? So decide what kind of quick win you want to help your target market, your reader, achieve through your post. Some ways to come up with this is think about, like, what if you were back in their shoes again, right? So, you know, in this post, I'm kind of taking the example of, you know, if I was brand new writing blog posts, what would I want to know to get better results faster and create content that was quality very quickly, right? And so take your target market, take your niche, think about what would you wish that you knew being in their shoes. So if you're just getting started in your industry, maybe you've got years of experience now, you know, take a new person, what problems do they run into? What struggles does that person have? You know, you've gone through those same struggles, you've gone through those setbacks, those challenges. What do you know now that you wish you knew about that area when you were just getting started? So this can be a great way to come up with ideas to create that small win for that audience. The third step that you want to implement is to set up a hook or some way to draw and engage and pull your audience in to make sure that you want them to read your full post, right? So a great way to do this is using pain points. Again, their needs, their wants, their goals. So there's two sides of it. You can, create a hook, create an intro that's kind of drawing them towards something that they do want to achieve, and then your post is going to show them how to get it. Or you can also use it to show them how to avoid some kind of common issue or pain point that they run into on a regular basis. I find the pain point way is a little bit more effective, but both options definitely work. So it gives you a lot of different options to plug into. So for example, let's say you promoted like nutrition and weight loss. So your pain point, your hook at the beginning of your blog post could go something along the lines of, do you feel like you always are spending hours exercising every single week but never seem to be able to lose the weight? Well, in today's post, I'm going to cover 7 tips on how you can lose weight faster without having to spend hours in the gym every single week, right? And so that's a big hook, right? You make some claim, you make some hook that's going to draw them in. If they're suffering with that pain point, they have a valid reason to continue to read on and go through your blog post. So I like using pain point questions as a foundation for a hook to draw my audience in. And so you can do that with blogging. And so make sure that you have some type of hook in the beginning of your post to engage them and keep the readers on your page. The fourth thing I have for you is to set up your blog posts into little sections. This makes it much easier to write. Look at it from the standpoint of it being so much easier to write, 10 300-word paragraphs versus a big 3,000 word post, right? This makes it much easier to avoid writer's block because, again, you can typically bust out a paragraph pretty quickly, but thinking of the entire post in one big chunk can be difficult and you can run into writer's block. So some different ways to actually help you break down your post is to think about, what common pain points or what common questions does your reader have? So for example, let's say you wrote a post on bench pressing. So you might come up with different bullet points or different paragraphs or section of your blog post, like how much should you bench press? How often should you bench press? How much weight should you use? How much rest time do you need in between sets? What are the best angles to bench press at? How soon should you increase the weight on your bench after you've been doing it? Are there other exercises similar to bench pressing that work well, right? So just off the top of my head, that was just a bunch of different sections that you can write, and it becomes very easy to write a longer blog post, write a quality blog post following this train of thought. So even as you're writing out bullet points like this, you're going to find that as you're writing it out, you might have a 500 or 600 word section and you're like, oh, I could just turn this into another bullet point, another section in my blog. And so it makes it very easy to get into the flow and write longer quality blog posts. So make sure that you structure your blog posts in this way. The fifth step is to define what your actual goal is of the post, right? This makes it a lot easier to write quality blog posts as well, because if you know what your goal is, you have a great foundation moving forward. This also allows you to work backwards in creating your post. So again, let's say you're selling a product or an info product, or you're in affiliate marketing, or you want people to hire you as a coach, right? It doesn't really matter. You take your goal that you have and you start working backwards from there. So, think of it like you're selling a product, right? So let's say you wanted to sell a coaching program. So you might break down and work backwards. Okay, why would you want to hire a coach? So you write a couple paragraphs on that. What are the advantages to hiring a coach? Why should you hire a coach now versus later? Once you hire a coach, what should you do from there? How do you pick the right coach? How much should you spend on a coach, right? Again, I'm just doing these off the top of my head, and it just creates that natural flow when you want to work backwards, because you have that end goal in mind that you want to do with your post, and then you just think of questions or little bullet points or headers that flow into getting someone to take action on that goal. So again, define your goal and work backwards is another great way to write that perfect blog post. Another great hack and way to write the perfect blog post faster is by using Google Docs. Now, you're probably using WordPress or another different blogging platform, and those are great, but one advantage that I like a lot with Google Docs is one, that it continually saves your progress, so you don't have to worry about the site crashing or internet going down or it not saving your draft or whatever the case might be. It's just kind of automatically always updating and saving the latest posts, so you can go back to it and edit it. Another cool advantage that I use all the time is the talk to text feature. So this is really cool. It's under the tools section in Google Docs. You can just pull out voice typing, and what's neat is that you can just plug in a headphone jack into your computer. A lot of computers and laptops already have built-in microphones as well, and so you can just talk to text and you can write out your blog very quickly. I know I use this strategy all the time to write posts that are several thousand words long. Maybe it only takes me 30-40 minutes, and if you're a slow typer especially, I consider myself a fast typer, but again, if you're a slow typer, that could bust out a blog post that's a very long length in a very short period of time compared to what you could do actually typing it out. And so what I'll do again is I'll write those paragraph headers basically in my WordPress document, and then I'll just pop on Google Docs, write that paragraph, write that section out, copy and paste it over into the WordPress platform. So it gives me a great foundation. It helps me write the blog post very quickly, and it's a super cool strategy you can use, and one of my favorite ways to write the perfect blog post very quickly. The 7th tip I have for you is that you just want to get all of your content, all of your information out, kind of do a brain dump before you try and go through and add links in, optimize stuff, adding pictures, adding videos. Before you do any of that stuff, just get everything out on paper all at once, right? And so this is very simple with Google Docs. Like I said, I'll kind of bullet point my paragraphs out or my sections out that I want to talk about in WordPress, and then I'll go through and do all the paragraphs in order on Google Docs. And a lot of times what will happen is, as I'm talking through a specific section, as I'm writing that out, I'll have new ideas pop in of new paragraphs I want to add in, or another sub paragraph, another section that fits well on that topic to dive deeper. So it's a very simple way to write out your posts. And again, a lot of people get caught in perfectionism where they want to edit and tweak and add pictures and do this stuff as they go, and that's actually going to take you a lot longer when you do that. So if you want to write quality blog posts fast, again, I would suggest doing a brain dump, writing everything out, and then transferring that back over into your WordPress or whatever platform and editing later on. So definitely implement that to write blog posts faster. The 8th tip I have for you is to write your blog posts like a conversation. This makes it much easier to write, easier to read, and a lot of your readers will appreciate this. A lot of people think back to kind of academic writing, maybe from high school or college, and that's really not the case with writing a blog post. I found it flows a lot better, it's easier to read, a lot more people like it when you just talk like you're having a conversation with someone. Unless you're actually writing your post for an academic purpose, or it's like a medical review journal or something like that, or maybe you are an English professor, who knows, right? In most cases, you're not going to need to write like that for your blog post, so don't try and be somebody else and write to, this advanced college level or professor level quality standard or whatever the case might be on your blog, because that's actually going to push a lot of people away. So focus it in like a conversation, like you're just explaining a subject to your friend at the bar, right? That's a great way to write your blog post. And again, like I said, that earlier hack I mentioned of using that talking to text through Google Docs is a very simple way to have this conversational format, because you're just talking into the blog post and it's writing it for you in that sense. So I found that can be a great way to write your blog post conversationally as well. Tip number 9 actually flows into that concept as well, where you just want to be you in your blog posts, right? What's crazy is that people will do business with those that they know, like, and trust. So again, what that means is that when you're you in your post, you could be promoting something that somebody else is promoting as well, and people are going to do business with you and buy from you because they like you, they like your personality, they like who you are, versus someone else. Even though it's the exact same product, maybe it's the exact same business model, the exact same thing you're promoting, they're going to decide to buy from you versus that other person just because it's you. right? And so make sure that you do this in your marketing. Again, speaking conversational will help you out with that. If you're putting pictures and videos in your posts, you can do pictures that you take on, your smartphone, different stuff like that. Like, it doesn't have to be these professional, high-end, stock photos that you're putting on your blog. You can certainly use those here and there, but the more you can put you into the mix, the better. The more trust and relationship people are going to develop with you. And again, people buy from people, not just faceless companies, and get started with those people. So when you're writing your blog posts, it goes a long way to just be you in your marketing, right? So I mean, I'm a big video game nerd. Ghostbusters, my favorite movie of all time, right? So I throw different stuff like that into my content and on blog posts and different things like that. So when you be you in your posts, it goes a long way. So definitely do that while writing your blog posts as well. The 10th tip I have for you is to write a catchy title and description. Now, one skill set you definitely want to develop if you're doing any sort of online marketing, blog writing, content creation, is that you want to get good at copywriting. And basically, copywriting is writing persuasively. And so there's a lot of different courses out there. One book that I'd recommend that you check out is called The Ultimate Sales Letter by Dan Kennedy. And he actually goes through all kinds of different examples, teaching you about copywriting, writing more persuasively, writing effective headlines. And that's a really great resource and skill that you want to develop. Another cool free resource that's out there is from the Advanced Marketing Institute. So if you actually just Google that, Advanced Marketing Institute Headline Analyzer, what it's going to do is it gives you this feature where you can just type your headline in there and then choose like what kind of industry you're in, and then it's actually going to give you a score. It's going to tell you basically how great the copy is, how good of a headline you have. And so it's a really cool free site out there that you can use to write better headlines for your blog posts, because again, you could have amazing content, you could write the best blog post ever, but if nobody ever clicks on that post when they see it, they never actually go and read it because the headline was terrible or the description was bad, that's on you, right? So you want to have those great quality headlines and descriptions. Again, Yoast Seo is another cool plugin you can get where it allows you to edit the meta description, or basically the little description that comes up when people see your post on Google. So a lot of times what happens is if you don't specifically write your own description for the post, it's just going to pull content from your post, and obviously it's not always a full sentence, and it doesn't do the best job of actually selling your post. So that's why learning copywriting, and then again, putting that good description for your blog post is essential to bring more people there, drive more traffic, and is part of writing the perfect blog post as well. The 11th tip I have for you is to make sure that your post is easy to read. A lot of blog posts or blog writers will basically write just, one big section, right? It's like a 3,000 word paragraph. It's super bland. It's hard to read. And again, just keep in mind, a lot of people too are going to be coming to your content from mobile these days. And so again, something that might be a semi-long paragraph or a semi-long block of words on like a desktop or computer is going to, be even bigger. I can't even fit my hands on the screen, right? It's going to be even bigger on a mobile version. So again, make sure that your blog post is broken down into different paragraphs. There's images throughout, there's bullet points throughout the post to make it easier to read. And again, if you've structured your blog posts in the format like I've talked about earlier, where you're breaking down small paragraphs for each little section, each little question that you're answering, it's pretty easy to write posts like this. I also just mentioned it briefly, but the 12th step that you want to do is to make sure that you add in pictures and videos to your blog post. Again, you want to make your blog post visually appealing, so having those small sections, having bullet points, but also adding in pictures and videos to make it more engaging, more interactive, are going to keep more people on your site. So another cool advantage with that is video marketing is one of the best ways to build trust and rapport and relationships with your audience. They can see you as a person, they see you're a normal person, a real person, right? So again, all things being equal, people want to do business with people, not just a faceless company. And so putting yourself into the mix, being on YouTube videos is another great way to build that trust and rapport and relationship with your audience. So definitely add video and pictures into your blog posts. And I talked about it earlier as well, that you don't want to kind of overload your posts with this, but also if you can include yourself in the mix and just be real pictures that you've taken versus random stock photos, it's going to go a long way as well too. So definitely do that with the pictures and videos that you put in your posts. The 13th tip that I have for you is to use call to actions throughout your blog post. So if you're in affiliate marketing, you're promoting a business, you have stuff for sale on your post, maybe you just use this to get more YouTube subscribers, right? There's a lot of options with it, but basically a call to action is just telling somebody to do something, right? So if I wrote a blog post about improving your video quality or making a high quality YouTube video, if I wrote my blog post about that, it would make sense to have a call to action, say, hey, by the way, if you'd like to check out my videos, click here to subscribe to my YouTube channel, right? So that's a call to action. I'm telling somebody to do something. One big idea as well is that if you're using call to actions in your website, they need to be congruent with what your content is actually talking about. So again, if I had a post about weightlifting, it wouldn't make sense to probably have a call to action to say, go buy this big screen TV. Doesn't really make any sense whatsoever in that post. So again, you want to have your call to actions be congruent with what your content is actually about. So make sure that you implement those. Another secret hack that you can use that I really like doing is to add a PS line at the bottom of every blog post that you have. So, you ideally want this to be, again, congruent with what your post is about, congruent with what your niche is struggling with, what you help them with. So again, if I wrote a blog post about blogging, my PS line might say something like, hey, are you still struggling with blogging, or would you like to take your blogging results even further? Check out this course on blogging to learn how to make money blogging from home. Right? So that could be an affiliate product I promote, a course that I did. There could be a lot of different options, but again, have your PS line be congruent. But again, you can put that at the bottom of every single post to have some sort of offer to lead to generating leads and sales and signups for your business. So definitely implement call to actions throughout your blog posts as well. And finally, the 14th tip that I have for you is to save editing and proofreading and adding links till the very end of your blog post, right? So you've already written it out, you've already done your first rough draft where you've just brain dumped everything, and now what you do is you go through from the top of the post and then you just edit every sentence one at a time. It makes it so much easier. It's great to add in links at that point to optimize for SEO. Another cool feature with that Yoast Seo plugin that I mentioned earlier is they have like a readability function. So it's going to give you different tips, like your paragraphs are too long, you use passive voice too much, your sentences are too long, right? There's a lot of other features it talks about too, but it can help you write your posts to be easier to read. And then it's very simple to, like I said, start from the top, work your way down, adding in videos, adding in images, adding in affiliate links, different things like that. And so I found that makes it much easier to write. And so now you have all the content there and you can just spend, 5-10 minutes going through editing your posts and then have a very high quality post when you're finished. So again, guys, hopefully you got some benefit and value out of this video. If you did, feel free to comment and share, and be sure to like this video if you got some benefit. It really helps out the channel. And then also subscribe to our channel to get the latest updates and tips and training to help you make money from home. Also, if you'd like to download a free PDF version of this 14-step program to write the perfect blog post, head on over to coachmikemcdonald.com/perfect blog. You can also click on a link below this video as well to get access to that. But again, if you'd like to get that free PDF download on 14 easy steps to write the perfect blog post, head on over to coachmikemcdonald.com/perfect blog, or again, click on the link below this video as well. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you more soon.